Today we're going to be talking about yet another Subohm tank. Subohm tank, Subohm tank, Subohm tank. Those things are big, aren't they? But this one right here, it's got some different features on there. Features that really stand out to me among other Subohm tanks, and that's why I'm going to be reviewing it for you. And this thing is called the TVCT by OBS. And before we move any further into this review, I do want to go over price point. Okay, online retail, this thing's selling anywhere between 30 and 35 bucks. So I've got this TVCT tank sitting on this IPv4. I've got one of the bottom vertical coil heads, the 0.5 ohm bottom vertical coil heads already installed into this device, and I'm vaporing at 28.5 watts. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, I almost always forget, but I have the airflow wide open as well. The three things that stand out to me about this device: one, this thing holds a buttload of a liquid, 6 mils of juice, man, that's crazy. Especially considering the fact that this thing is a 22 millimeter tank, okay? Pretty much the same size as the King Sub Tank Mini, the Delta 2s, all these other Subohm tanks that are 22 millimeters in diameter. This thing holds by far the most e-liquid. Two, this thing has a top filling design. It's easy to use, it's convenient. You'll see in the close-ups. And then three, this device has that adjustable juice feeding control, just like the Delta 2 has. Okay, I've already reviewed that tank, but that's the only other device that has that feature. This has that feature, so if you're using your heavy VG based juices, you can open up that juice, adjustable juice feeding control wide open. If you're using the thinner VG based juices, you can close her off. Again, you'll see all this in the close-ups. Okay, so there are some other features or pros for this device that I really like. One, the vape quality, vapor production, woo, killer. Adjustable airflow, man, adjustable airflow for this device. It's very similar to the Delta 2, very similar to Sub Tank Mini, wide open. You can adjust her. You got the adjustable airflow ring, perfect amount of restrictiveness. It's not going to spin into place, but it's easy to use at the same time. You can close her off, get a nice tight lung hit. It's not for the guys that want to do mouth to lungs, but what other Subohm tank out there is for the guys that want to do the mouth to lungs? It's for all you vapors that want those lung inhales. You want to chuck the vapor, but you also want great flavor. This thing gives you great flavor, and that leads me to talk about the coil heads. Coil heads for this device, I got two of them. It comes with two BVC bottom vertical coil heads, single bottom vertical coil heads that read 0.5 ohm each. And let me tell you what, there was zero break-in time for these coil heads, and each coil head has lasted me a week and a half to 2 weeks. Flavor's killer, man, especially for your juices that are 70 VG and thinner. Now, if you start going over 70 VG, in my experiences with the two coil heads that I've messed around with for this device, I get dry hits. Fruity flavors I noticed vape better for this tank than like the tobacco or the desserty type flavors. I don't know what that is all about, but with these two coil heads that I've messed around with, I have been enjoying the fruity flavors more. They vape better, I get better flavor. Weird, huh? The stainless steel drip tip that comes with this device, I like it. It's comfortable, but I could take this drip tip out and use any other drip tip that I own. And you know what? I really actually like the look of this device. I mean, you've got the glass windows like the Delta 2, but you can actually see the juice, how much juice you have in there. But then again, all that is freaking subjective. Quality control, whoa. This thing right here is squeaky freaking clean. No machine oil, no grease, just one rinse, one wash. I was good to go. Nice clean threads. The packaging, you'll see in the close-ups, woo, super duper clean. Reminds me of Kangertech. So without further ado, I'm going to show you this thing close up. We're going to go down, break it apart, show you how to fill this thing up. We're going to come back, and then I'm going to talk about some cons for this device. Then we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to tell you where you can get one. So here's the packaging this tank comes in, and I'll tell you what, first impressions, she is super duper clean packaging. This slides off, pop this open, and in the top you have your instructional manual, shows you how to fill her up, how to take her apart, all that good stuff. And there she is, the TVCT tank. You got that, you got a coil head already assembled in this device, and then you got an extra coil head. Alrighty, so here's a close-up look at the 0.5 ohm bottom vertical coil heads. You got 2 feed holes on one side, 2 feed holes on the other, so all 4 feed holes are about 3 millimeters in diameter. And this 0.5 ohm BVC coil head is meant to be vape between 10 watts and 35 watts. And obviously lined inside those feed holes is organic cotton. So how it works is you screw this thing into your base, and then what happens is the juice in the tank feeds through those feed holes to the wick and then to your coil. And then here's your coil up top. hence bottom vertical coil. It is a vertical coil, and down there you see that light. That's the airflow hole, okay? Again, here's your bottom vertical coil, the 0.5 ohm bottom vertical coil. At the top you got the stainless steel screen, and then at the base you got two notches, that airflow hole. It runs up the center of that coil. So how it works is when this is screwed into the base, the airflow comes through the base, through here, these two notches, up the center of that coil. So here's the tank. Now a few specs for you. This thing is 22 millimeters in diameter and it is 73.5 millimeters in height. And she is primarily made of 303 grade stainless steel with a Pyrex tank. So let's just start with this adjustable airflow. Okay, you got one slot on one side, one slot on the other. To adjust it, you just grab hold of this ring and you twist. Close her off all the way, open her up halfway, wide open, and that's the adjustable airflow for you. So you have a permanent built-in Pyrex tank on one side and then the other. Okay, it's all built in from here up. This tank section is all one piece. You can't disassemble it. Okay, and we'll get into that in the cons in the video, but it is what it is. I mean, I like the way it looks. It looks to tits. You got your stainless steel drip tip up top, okay, and it's wide bore up top. It's about 11 millimeters in width and diameter, I mean, and then it tapers down to about 5 millimeters. 5 millimeters in diameter. It's double O-ringed. And then there's the top. Now you unscrew it. Okay, there's that section. And then up top you got two fill port holes. And as you guys can see, you've got rubber gaskets or seals. It seals in everything. But I mean, this thing is super easy to fill up, super convenient. I'll show you that at the end of this close-up segment. And then you got this ring right here that spins, and that is your juice control ring. So you see how it's wide open right now? Watch this. I spin this ring, I can close her off a quarter of a way, halfway, 3/4 away. So I can close her off all the way, just like so. Closed off all across the board. Open her back up, wide open, all across the board. That's juice control for you. And then down here at the base, you got your 510 threads and 510 threads, as you guys can see. Clean, 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 smooth, smooth, smooth. And you have a non-adjustable 510 pin. And as you guys can see, it says designed by OBS, and then it says the tank model TVCT. And then to unscrew the base from the tank section, all I'll do is grab a hold of the base and then just unscrew her. Coil unscrews from the base like so. And here's your base section. And then here's the tank section. Like I said, all this is one piece. The Pyrex tank is built in. Here's the shaft section. Notice that bar in the center of the shaft. That is for spit back. Pretty clever on their part. And watch this. When I spin this ring up here up top, it also spins the base of the shaft section. See that? So I'm going to go ahead and screw this coil head into the base like so. I recommend saturating the coil head before you fill her up, because if you burn the cotton at all, she's done. You have to put a new coil in, you're SOL. So I got the coil head in there, she's tight. Then all I'm going to do is screw in the tank section. And the next step is just to fill her up. So here's my TVC tank that I've been using for the past 2.5, 3 weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill her up for you. I got a little bit of juice in there, and I've got the juice control channels opened up wide open. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close off this airflow, this adjustable airflow, close her off all the way. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this juice feeding ring, and I'm going to close that off all the way. And I'm just going to fill her up. And I like to leave a little air pocket. Open the juice control back up. Wide open. I'm going to open up the adjustable airflow. Oh yeah. No leakage whatsoever. You just got to make sure you close off everything before you fill her up. Then I'm going to screw on my top cap / drip tip. And what I do is I tighten it down. When I tighten it down all the way, it tends to spin this a little bit, this ring. So what I do is I just tighten her down all the way until she spins all the way around and opens her back up again. And I'm good to go. I know that this top cap is tightened down all the way, which seals it off. So that right there is the TVCT tank by OBS. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime. First con, what the fart, OBS? You did not include an RTA section for this device. If you included an RTA section for this tank, OBS, yeah, I'm talking to you, I'd be on this like stink on a turd. But you don't, and I'm not. Second con, this tank does not come with an adjustable 510 connection pin, and because it does not come with an adjustable 510 connection pin, you can't use it on all your hybrid top cap mechanical mods. You know, some of these guys using these Subohm tanks on these hybrid top cap mechanical mods, dumb, you're gonna end up in the hospital because it's gonna short out OBS, Kangertech, Delta 2. Make these tanks, your Subohm tanks, have adjustable 510 connection pins so these people can use them on their hybrid top cap mechanical mods. That will be a simple solution, right? And then the third and final con I found for this device, the Pyrex tank section and the stainless steel tank section is all one piece, and because it's all one piece, if you break that Pyrex tank section, you are SOL. That sucks. But other than those three cons, this thing is a treat. So OBS, the guys that manufacture this device, they're the ones that sent this to me to review for you guys. The only place that I saw that sells this thing online or is taking pre-orders is a company called Wet Vapes, wetvapes.com, and they're selling this thing for $32.99. Now on to the big question, the big answer of the day. If I'd have lost this today, would I go out tomorrow and buy one? No. There's only one reason. This thing does not come with an RTA section. I'm tired of these Subohm tanks not coming with RTA sections. And you know, some of you guys out there say to this, well, Rip, why don't you just go buy an RTA? Well, I don't want to buy an RTA. I want a Subohm tank that's got two options. Got it? So no, I wouldn't buy it. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.